On the night of August 31, 1983, a seemingly routine flight from New York City to Seoul, with a stopover in Anchorage, Alaska, transformed into a harrowing international incident that intensified Cold War tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union. Korean Airlines Flight 007, a Boeing 747, carried 269 passengers and crew, including a U.S. congressman, children, scientists, and travelers from around the world, all bound for South Korea. After refueling and a crew change in Anchorage, Flight 007 departed for its final leg to Seoul. However, due to a critical navigational error, the aircraft deviated from its intended flight path by more than 200 miles, veering into Soviet airspace, a mistake unnoticed by the crew but detected by Soviet radar installations. As the plane crossed over the Kamchatka Peninsula and later the island of Sakhalin, the situation escalated quickly. The Soviets, suspicious of a spy plane intrusion during heightened Cold War vigilance, scrambled fighter jets to intercept the airliner. In the early hours of September 1, 1983, a Soviet Su-15 fighter jet, under orders and after several warnings and signals went unheeded or misunderstood, fired missiles at the civilian aircraft. The missiles struck KAL-007, causing catastrophic damage and leading to the plane crashing into the Sea of Japan. All 269 passengers and crew aboard were killed in this tragic incident. The downing of KAL-007 stirred international outrage and sorrow, sparking a flurry of diplomatic confrontations. The Soviet Union initially denied knowledge of the incident, then later admitted to shooting down the aircraft, claiming it was on a spy mission, citing the plane's deep penetration into their airspace and its lack of response as suspicious behaviors. The incident exposed serious flaws in international aviation security and navigation, leading to changes in flight routing and tracking to prevent such tragic errors in the future. It also prompted a significant debate over military engagement rules and the protection of civilian aircraft. In the United States and around the world, the loss of Flight 007 was mourned as a devastating human tragedy and as a chilling reminder of the dire potential for international misunderstandings to escalate into lethal confrontations. The event remains one of the darkest moments in civil aviation and a poignant chapter in the history of Cold War diplomacy. The world watched in horror and then in grief, as families demanded answers and governments grappled with the political fallout, all seeking to ensure that such a loss of innocent lives would never happen again under similar circumstances.
Navigation error. The entire tragedy stemmed from a critical navigational error, where the autopilot was incorrectly set to maintain a constant heading instead of following the designated flight path. This seemingly minor technical oversight led the civilian airliner deep into prohibited Soviet airspace. Violation of Soviet airspace. The extent of the flight's deviation, over 200 miles off course, into highly sensitive Soviet airspace during a period of extreme Cold War tension is remarkably unusual and catastrophic. Lack of communication. There was no successful communication between the Soviet interceptors and the civilian aircraft. The crew of KAL-007 was apparently unaware of their incursion into Soviet airspace and the imminent threat they faced. Soviet response. The decision by the Soviet Union to shoot down a passenger jet, mistaking it possibly for a spy plane due to its straight and unwavering flight path over military installations, highlights a drastic and fatal measure. Delayed Soviet admission and international reactions. The initial secrecy and delayed admission by the Soviet Union regarding their actions contributed to international outrage and a significant diplomatic crisis, reflecting the intense mistrust and paranoia of the era. Presence of a U.S. congressman. The presence of Larry McDonald, a sitting U.S. congressman and a prominent anti-communist, on the flight added layers of conspiracy theories and political intrigue to the incident. Impact on aviation procedures. The incident had a profound impact on international aviation, leading to changes in air traffic control and flight routing procedures to ensure such a tragic error would not recur.